my second date with my girl.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we were going.
Your second date?
My second date with my girl back in like 2019.
So you were just still trying to set it up?
Exactly. We go into the movies to go watch Spider-Verse, you know, and going in, the guy that takes a ticket, you know, sees me. He's like, "Bro, are you Vick?" Bro, oh my God, bro, I watch all your videos all the time.
Beyond the Brand Podcast.
Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Brand Podcast. I am your host, Angelo, and today we have a special guest. I'm gonna say back in my day, like I'm old, but back in like 2010s, all of us, like the biggest hustle was to find shoes on Craigslist, clean them up, then resell them. And today we have somebody that was like starting to do that, but he's the only person that I know that made it a career. Then he began making shoes for Devin Booker, Ice Cube, Justin Timberlake, Marshawn Lynch, just like the list goes on and on and on. And maybe you could tell me some people I missed, but today we have Vick Almighty.
My dude.
Yes, bro. Thank you for having me in your studio.
Man, this is awesome, dude.
Yes. So we were already catching up a little bit off camera.
We were literally talking for like 30 minutes, all hyped up about old stuff.
Man, like, did I miss anybody? Is there anybody on that list that I missed? Because I know there's a lot.
There is a few nowadays, bro. Like a whole Suns roster, you know, like some couple for the D-backs, you know, some Tigers players, you know, NBA YoungBoy. We just did a custom for last week.
For real?
Yeah. It got the arena got him in his hands this past Monday for his concert.
Whoa, what were they? Maybe we'll pop up.
I haven't posted them yet. So there were some Jordan 3s, some Black Cats,
wow,
custom back tabs, LED lights in the air units, custom tongues. It got good love on their page.
For real?
Sick. I was hoping he would wear them, but he didn't. But there's a list, bro. But either way, though, I appreciate the love, man. You kind of hit on a lot of different stuff, and like you said, bro, we kind of go way back.
Yeah, man. It's just kind of crazy seeing you and what you've accomplished. Like, even my little brother one day, this was years ago, but one day my little brother is like, because he knows I'm into shoes, I've always been into shoes. He's just like, "Hey, bro, look at this video. Have you seen this dude? He's like making all this crazy stuff." And he shows me, and it's you.
Like,
and I'm like, "Vick? Yeah, of course I know." And he's like, "Bro, you don't know Vick, bro." And I'm like, "No, yeah, my homie lived in the same neighborhood with him."
Literally, man.
And then he's like, "Nah, you don't know." So still this day, when he sees this video, he'll know I know Vick.
What's your brother's name?
Yeah, Ty.
Ty, come on, bro. We go way back, 2010.
Yeah, man.
Bro, we were just reminiscing right now about the old brand that we were a part of, you know, BC. You know,
and you said you still have one.
I still have a T-shirt. It's in my one of my drawers in a Ziploc bag.
That's
it's a relic. I knew it was gonna be something to hold on to. So I'll take a picture, bro, and I'll send it to you.
Yeah, we'll have to pop that up. That's so funny.
It goes back to 2010, fam. You know, 2010 was a whole different era. We're in 2025 now. That was 15 years ago. That's like almost half my life.
Man, speaking of that, before we get too much into your story and everything like that, I just wanted to kind of pull this out and get your thoughts on this right here.
Sick. Do you still have these?
Yes.
Bro.
So back in the day, like I said, all we would do is buy shoes, clean them, flip them, or keep them. I bought these off of Craigslist for $80.
Yeah.
And they were pretty smoked. Like they were cooked.
Faded, super
faded. And I didn't know what to do with them because the suede, the whatever this is. And for anybody listening, these are SB Papa Bears. And I didn't know how to clean them. And I talked to my boy Angel, and he's like, "Hey, Vick can do it. Like, he does different things like that." And I hit you up, and I'm like, "Hey, bro," and you're like, "I've never done it before, but I think I can."
You know what's funny? I'm pretty sure I still have these before and afters in my laptop.
No way.
Too, you know? So I'll look. There's a lot of stuff I have to look for, but honestly, bro, like it took me a second to remember what the shoe was, but it all started coming back to me, and I know I kind of cooked this shoe too. I put baby oil on this suede. You know what I'm saying? So like at the time, there's nothing you could have really done. I didn't know how to dye sneakers.
Yeah.
There was no mink oil or anything, so I got a bunch of baby oil and I put all over the suede. It darkened it up nicely.
Yeah.
I'm like feeling out the suede. I'm like,
it's not
better
bad.
now. It's not bad. You know, it's kind of.
I still wear it to this day.
It's dried out and stuff, but dude, that's kind of crazy that you haven't got rid of some of these older shoes, bro.
Yeah, there's certain shoes. We were talking about that hoarding lifestyle.
Yeah.
There's certain things that I cannot let go, bro.
Respect, bro.
And this is one of them. Every time I go through, like a sell-off where you sell everything off, those ones make it.
This is what, like 2013 maybe when I probably restored
Probably,
the shoe?
yeah, like senior year or right after senior year.
Yeah,
something
right
like that.
after we graduated in 2012.
Yep.
So 2013 is when I started really doing this stuff out of my bedroom.
Wow,
bro, this is crazy, man. You kind of caught me off guard with this one.
Yeah, bro.
I haven't seen an old restoration of mine from 12 years ago.
This is where it started, bro.
This is cool.
Yeah, bro. And you did it, like I said, you did a good job. I've never cleaned them since you touched them. And they don't look bad, right?
Bro, that's insane, man. You got me in awe with bringing an old shoe that I touched 12 years
Hell
ago.
yeah,
I haven't
bro.
seen that here in the studio come in. Good shit,
It's
man.
a first,
That's
bro.
dope.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny.
I was wondering what you had in that box. I was like,
I know, I
ACG. What could it be?
ACG. I knew you would think about that.
You caught me off guard.
But yeah, it's funny. I remember being in front of, shout out to the homie Angel. I remember
It's
being
the
in
homie
front
right
of
there.
his
I haven't
house.
seen him in years.
For real? Yeah, so I remember being in front of his house and you coming through and we were just chopping it up and you were just talking about how you were in college.
Yeah.
And you were just trying to figure it out. Like
Yeah.
you didn't know exactly what you were going to
You
do.
know my story.
And
Yeah.
like, yeah, because I heard it from
Yeah.
you. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
so fucking crazy.
And so like, I just remember talking to you that day. This is like you said, 2013 or whatever at 14.
Yeah.
And I just remember like, you seemed like you weren't passionate about whatever you were doing in school,
Yeah.
but you were doing it to make your family happy.
Yeah.
And you also had the side hustle, but you're like, I don't know if that can really be something.
Yeah, like you mentioned, nobody was doing that as a career back then.
Yes.
you know?
Like nobody was on YouTube making there was sneaker kind of like franelations and stuff, but
it
like
was-
unboxings.
Yeah, you got your OGs that have been dabbling in restorations, customs for years and years, but like nobody was doing it like that on social media or as a career
And
or
consistently.
consistent, all the above, you know. So yeah, you're kind of spot on all the things you mentioned, bro. Like I wasn't passionate about school or anything. I was just doing it just to
Yeah.
do because I was just telling my boy yesterday too, which is crazy. It's kind of crazy that 18 you're put on with the pressure of, you know, you're out of high school. Now you gotta
What's
figure
next?
out what to do. You know, if you want to go to school now, you gotta go probably in debt 50 to 100 grand on something you potentially might not even like. You know, for example, out of high school for me, I knew I needed to do something. I always had drive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so what's left? Let's go to college. You know, that's what everybody tells me.
That's
You gotta
the
go to
pathway,
college.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I kept it pretty vague. I was like, I'll just go to school for business. You know, there's a lot of paths for business,
Mm-hmm.
but by year 2, I never actually figured out what I wanted to do in business.
Mm.
And that's around the same time I was working with the shoes out of my bedroom. It was kinda
Yeah.
like the same time we probably had that conversation. But to put the pressure on that you have to figure out exactly what you want to do outside of high school for the rest of your life is kind of crazy, you know.
Scary.
Looking back on it, man, I would have gone to school for business, but what I didn't know back then was that I would have probably gone to school if I would have known about this career path is an industrial designer. Industrial designer, you make stuff. Industrial designers basically make the world go round. You know, they make the cars, they design refrigerators, they design shoes, they design desks, they design.
So there was a pathway in school.
If I would have known about it.
If you would have known.
Yeah, there could have been a pathway, you
Wow.
know. So looking back on it, you know, I have no regrets. But at the same time, if I would have known about this path, I wonder if I would have, you know, taken a chance on it, if I would have liked it, and what would have been next from that. But it's cool. But what I'm trying to say is, it's crazy. At 18, you got to freaking figure it out and then just hope that it's what you want to do. And, you know, and whatever time and money you invested, you know,
Yeah.
hopefully it all pays off. But
Man, if there's any kids watching that really like what Vic does, you can go into school for, what was it, industrial
design, you know,
Wow.
make shoes, you know, draw shoes and literally go on a computer and design it and put it all together. You know, that's what Nike's all about. All the people that design shoes and create the sneakers, they're all, for the most part, industrial designers. You know, they're not just, you know, putting colors on a sneaker. They're making a sneaker, making sure it operates all around. You know, it's a 360 product, you know, with texture on the sole, you know, the components on the inside, the padding, this, and that. So that's probably what I would have probably gone. Maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows?
And I think that's what separates you from a lot of restorers or shoe cleaners or anything like that, is that I feel like, I don't know if you've done it before, but I feel like you can make a shoe from just scraps. Like
Probably. Yeah,
just
at this point.
put them on the table. As long as there's enough
Yeah.
pieces, you can make a whole shoe.
If I come in Monday and told me this is this week's project, this is a challenge, you're not leaving until you get it done, then yeah, I'll probably figure it out and get it done. You know what I'm saying?
That's so crazy, bro. Like you started with just, you know, cleaning
shoes.
stuff, painting it.
Like you said, bro, Craigslist, that was your only option. You go over there, buy some shoes for $40. You get your mom's brush, you get some dish soap, you
Yep.
give it a good scrub, you let them dry, and then you go flip them for like 20, 30 bucks more.
Yep.
You use that 20, 30 bucks to go to Hat Club or something and buy a new hat or a new t-shirt from K-Momo or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So that was the hustle right there.
Man,
You
that's
know,
crazy, bro.
Whatever money, putting it back into your own clothes.
I mean, speaking of that time frame, let's talk about ASU. Do you remember ASU, the group?
100%, yeah. A with the dollar sign,
Yeah.
100%, bro. I was barely in it. This is, I think it was more heavy on the Facebook side.
Yes, it was.
You know,
It was a Facebook group.
And I was never really on Facebook, but I still kind of repped it briefly on Instagram. You know, it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
You know, it's very Arizona.
Yeah, for people that don't know, it was a Facebook group. That's kind of where Heated Soul spawned from.
Yeah, no,
because
for
it was
sure.
Tesh,
Tash,
Brian, Senior Foodie.
Brian, yeah, a lot of those dudes, man. A lot of those guys started
And a
from
couple
there.
of them mentioned to me that you were actually in there too. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I didn't know that. Because
Yeah.
I wasn't on Facebook.
Yeah.
I wasn't a part of that. But I remember the name, though. I think it was Arizona Souls United.
Something like that. I
Something
remember
like
the
that.
dollar sign
Yeah.
more. I was like, that was it right there.
Yeah, man, it was different times, but you're completely right. It's like giving me flashbacks of like
Yeah.
when you would just be trying to make 20, 30 bucks on a flip.
Different era, bro, with a lot of different things, you know, as far as where the sneaker industry was, you know, where social media was too, you know, like back then. Also, I'm at where I'm at because I was promoting what I was doing on Instagram when Instagram first kicked off. You know, Instagram first kicked off, what, like in 2010 or something?
Something like that,
2011,
yep,
you
yep,
know?
yep.
It's around the same time I started doing customs and restorations. So, like, when I was doing my stuff, I was posting on there, you know, and off the rip, I started getting some traction, too. So, nowadays, it's a little harder to grow a business.
'cause
or
everyone is-
everybody's kind of doing it now. But it was a lot easier back then because you didn't have stories, you didn't have DMs, you didn't have...
It's just a picture.
it's
No
a picture,
videos, no reels.
No music over that, no carousels, nothing. You just
Nothing.
throw up a picture in a caption, you call it a day.
And see if
you
somebody
move
likes
on.
it.
Freaking miss those days.
I don't even remember if you could comment.
You can. That's all you had.
It was just like comment and like, right? Or,
Comment and like.
Okay.
That
Because
was
I
it.
feel like at one point it was just like likes or something.
If
but
you wanted to contact someone, you needed to leave someone a comment like, "Hey."
oh,
you
there's
know,
no DMs
There's
on.
no DMs or nothing. You had to literally leave a comment with your phone number or something.
Bro,
or
that's
email.
insane.
Yeah.
So like when you're going through that process, how long into it was it that you were, you know, getting a little traction and then ultimately Rejuvenator hitting you?
Yeah, I mean, it's just the stars kind of aligned on that one, bro. So like 2013 is when I would say I started going more full into me having a desk in my room with shoes all over the place, paints here and there and stuff. 2013.
Okay.
By like 2015, bro, I was cooked. You know, I was waking up to sneakers, going to sleep working on
Just
sneakers.
everywhere.
Sneakers everywhere, next to my fucking bed and shit, you know? So like,
Yeah, I remember after I got these done, I could never get anything else cleaned
Yeah,
again,
bro.
bro. It was a wrap.
it was all stacked, bro, and I was like terrible at managing my time. I was just taking on whatever just to try to. And back then, bro, like I would spend like 10 hours on a project to get like $50 or something, you know, $100 maybe. So like the numbers were just not adding up.
Yeah.
But 2015, dude, I was cooked, you know, just doing the same thing over and over and over again out of my room. It was cool at first, you know, but you're just not working with anybody else. You know, all you know is yourself and your Netflix iPad that you're watching, you know. So I was
Just
kind of just
hours,
burnt out
hours.
for the most part. In a way, ready to move on to something else.
Really?
Yeah, no, for sure. You know, I don't know what that next thing was, but in a way, ready, just because, bro, it was just
It
same
turned
thing.
into like a real job.
real
like,
job that's not paying right, and then you're just in your room, just again working on the same thing over and over again. 2015 though, again, Rejuvenator was already kind of, you know, starting to become established. You know, they started in 2011. By like 2015.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know they were 2011.
2011 originated in Tucson.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you know, at some point they made the move to come to Phoenix, Steve and the rest of the guys that were running it. 2013, they were already out here. 2015, they already had an office. By then, it's kind of when I started connecting with them. I'm sure you remember, like, the Sneaker Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew. So I used to work in a call center. Shout out to my boy Min. He still sells shoes to this day. When we were in the call center, he was like, "Hey, bro, my homie started this shoe cleaning brand." And he introduced me to Rejuvenator. And I was using Jason Mark at the time. And he was showing me that. And I was like, wait, these guys are from here? He's like, yeah, bro, it's the homies, blah, blah, blah. And then you started being a part. I was like, what the heck? I just learned about the brand. And then you started being part of it.
Funny how that stuff works.
Yeah. So how did they hit you up? Through Instagram or?
Well, Sneaker Bowl, you know, we were kind of there. You know, I've always had my thing going. Rejuvenators had their thing going.
Gotcha.
You know, Sneaker Cleaner, Restore, they kind of go hand in hand in a way. One of the original owners, Rob, he just kind of threw some restorations my way, and I started doing them.
Okay.
And then when I met up with him to give them back, he was in this old Tahoe that was wrapped in Rejuvenator wrapping.
Oh, really?
Super sick. With black rims and
tight.
everything. I love that Tahoe. It was badass. So he would pull up, get the shoes from me, and then he would be like, do you need anything? And I'm like, whatever you have, I'm down with. So he would open up the back door, hook me up with all this product, water and stain repellent, solution, brushes, like all the stuff.
Just supplies.
Supplies. And that was kind of like one of the first times I was starting to get free shit from anybody.
Wow.
Like, oh shit, this is
That's like
dope.
a skater when they start getting boards or
something
something.
like that, So I just got stacked with all this free product. This is freaking sick, So, that was his introduction for me was Rejuvenator. That was like early 2015. I didn't join Rejuvenator till November 2015.
Gotcha.
So by Sneaker Bowl, they kind of had this idea like, what if we started doing videos and stuff? And at that time, bro, I'd never been in front of the camera. So I was like, oh, that could be cool, but it never sounded serious enough. They tossed the idea again to me like around during the summertime of 2015. And I was like, that could be something. And then like by November or October, he was like, all right, bro, if you don't want to do this, we're just going to pick somebody else. We're just going to go somewhere est. And that was probably their tactic, just get me to freak
They didn't have nobody else.
There was nobody else. So I was like, oh, shit, okay. We'll offer you an office space, so you could do all your work there. We'll just do the videos. And whenever you're not doing the videos, you could do your own thing. I'm like, well, that was the biggest thing for me. I was cooked from working in my room nonstop, had all my stuff next to my freaking bed. So having my own office space, that
made
was
it
a
feel
selling
real.
point, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay.
Yeah.
My bad, that's the compressor.
It's all good.
That shit scares people all the time.
We've shot at screen printing spots before, and they have the same thing.
Yeah. You need a compressor if you're cleaning your shoes, guys.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So makes things easier.
Oh, okay.
But not everybody has a compressor at home. But anyway,
so you got your office?
My office space. That was the biggest selling point, bro.
Yeah.
And then again, that was November. I remember it to this day. Right after Thanksgiving, that first Monday, I moved all my stuff over there. Had a sick ass office space in the Rejuvenator building. So the Rejuvenator building had its shipping office. Behind there, we had a warehouse where we had all the product.
Wow.
And then my office was next to Steve's office, the boss man.
Gotcha.
And there was
it just like
an
office complex or like?
In a way, yeah,
Okay.
exactly. With in the back area just being a warehouse. So it was a combination of of a space.
Maybe like where the golf spot is?
With Devro, same exact concept,
like
bro.
that.
100%.
Gotcha.
That's I was just there a couple weeks ago working. I had to do a bunch of reglues, 14 reglues, and I needed a space where it was well ventilated. So I was there hanging out all day.
Gotcha.
And I was like, damn, this is all Rejuvenator vibes. The warehouse.
Yeah, because the way you're
it is.
explaining it, shout out to them when we shot your brothers out there. It is like that.
Picture that.
Yeah.
Old Rejuvenator days. That's where
tight.
I got bought in and stuff. But I had my own space, small amount of people. But what was cool is I was able to work with other people, So like I was now a part of a team, Now I'm promoting Rejuvenator, so I'm part of whatever conversations they're in. Now I'm a part of it,
Nice.
So I grew with the company. I got my own workspace. Started shooting my videos in November. Shot like 7 or 8 of them to release the first week of January 2016, first Monday. In my head, I'm like, okay, we're going to release these videos and nobody's going to freaking watch them or like them, and I'm just going to be right back where I started in my room.
Yeah.
First 3 videos just popped off, People were like commenting, liking, and all that stuff, engaging, calling the office, like the shipping phone number, just asking
No
for me
way.
and stuff. I was like, they were doing me a solid, bro. They were like showing Rejuvenator, like, yo, this guy's something.
We like this guy.
We like this guy. 10 years later, still doing the same old thing,
Wow, that's so. Originally, when you were coming on, did they just like contract you as like a face, or like how does that even work?
It's weird, bro. Yeah, 100%. Again, before all that, to this day, I've never had a regular job.
Yeah.
Out of high school, went to college, but always been working on shoes. Never had to take on a part-time job or anything.
Exactly.
The most I've done is just work with my pops every single Saturday in his landscape business. But besides that, never held a job.
So you knew you didn't want to do no shit like that.
I'm still not gonna do no shit like that, bro. I'm gonna be 80 working on sneakers.
Yeah.
Where was I going with that?
I'm wondering about the contract. Like,
do
you get paid salary or like what the?
Yeah. So originally they asked me, because I was a part of another business called Air Legends. I don't know if you remember that. It was a bunch of restorers, like 10 or 15 restorers across the country that we all just did good work. We just promoted ourselves on Instagram. We had our own cleaner, and it was called Air Legends Cleaner, you know, and it was being manufactured by Angelus.
Okay, I remember
you know,
Angelus.
It was a small little bottle, you know, blue liquid. It did great. I love the smell looking back on it, but again, it's something I haven't used in so long. That's what I was promoting at the time, you know, so I guess I was a part of an old cleaner.
Okay.
You know, but nothing's too serious. And I was, you remember Pound for Pound?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, I was slanging those Air Legend bottles to Pound for Pound to be slanging.
Gotcha.
And what's funny too is that reminds me, I started off on a rough start with Rejuvenator because Rejuvenator was originally at Pound for Pound. Pound for Pound started in 2013. They were carrying Rejuvenator. I come in with my Air Legends cleaner, and I took off that stuff off their shelves and put their Air Legends, and that was that for Rejuvenator. Steve didn't like that at the time.
Of course not.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So off the rip, you know, that was a bad start with Rejuvenator, but I was with Pound for Pound for a while. They were taking in restorations, and I would work on all that. That's also what helped.
Oh, you were the one doing it there?
Yeah, that's what helped build my reputation too. You know, besides Instagram and besides working early on, Pound for Pound was getting all these samples and stuff for PJ Tucker and whatever, you know. So on Instagram, I was posting these Supremes, these whatever samples and stuff. Like, okay, this guy's working on expensive high-end stuff.
Yeah.
I can trust this guy. You know, I can trust him with my freaking black cements or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, so Pound for Pound helped build my reputation. But anyway, I was selling Air Legends there. I think every month I was coming up on like $700 or something.
Okay.
You know, so Rejuvenator asking how much do you need to like, and again, I'm freaking 21 years old, 22 years old. I didn't have enough experience.
Yeah.
So like, how much money do you need to make it work to join Rejuvenator and leave that other brand? I'm like, $700, you know. I just
the same amount?
Yeah. So that was my salary,
bro. You had no loyalty to Air Legends, bro.
I just need $700, man, in this office space.
That's gold.
So
Shout out to Air Legends, bro.
that was my salary at first. I don't know how that lasts. How long that lasted? Maybe 2 or 3 months, bro. Getting paid $700 from Rejuvenator, but eventually I got a raise.
Oh my god,
$700 doesn't cover shit nowadays.
Definitely not.
So that was my negotiations right there. You know, Fran, who hired me at the time, he's like, asked me like 3 questions. Told him my $700 figure. Walked out of the office to go talk to Steve. Took like 5 or 10 minutes. I don't know. They were like, $700. That's all the kid wants.
For real.
Stick around here a little longer. You know, act like we're discussing it. Goes back in there with me. He's like, yeah, we could do $700. That's probably how I went down or something. I don't know.
Definitely.
But $700 was
like,
my starting
700?
salary here at Rejuvenator, and I was able to make it grow since, thanks to all the people commenting and calling the shipping office.
I mean, bro, you're basically the face of Rejuvenator at this point. Like,
I mean, 10
you
years
are
at
Mr.
it.
Rejuvenator. I bet you so many people think you just you started Rejuvenator.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Do
too.
you?
Yeah. If you go on AI right now or ChatGPT and ask like, who's Vick Almighty? He's like, Vick Almighty, aka Stephen Greer, the owner of Rejuvenator.
No way.
Started through Rejuvenator in 2010 or whatever. I'm like, all right, I gotta teach AI. I gotta show AI a little bit because it's a little off.
That is crazy.
Shout out to Steve. He's the one that started Rejuvenator. But together we've been able to make this thing grow.
Yeah, man, you guys have made it grow so crazy.
Yeah.
I want to go back a little bit. Manny, if you could give me those pictures. I took a few screenshots from some videos. I'm going to show them to you, and then we could just, talk about what comes to mind. Because you've done so much content at this point. And so this first one I have right here, and we'll pop them up on the screen for the people. But that was, do you remember this one?
Yeah, bro, I remember this.
So this was, I think your first time in New York.
Yeah, this is, because I remember that hat. And I remember.
Why you say swaggerless, bro?
Bro, come on. I'm just like staring at this Rejuvenator shirt and stuff. I remember these shows too. And I know for a fact I'm wearing my Easy Turtle Doves in this video. Because that was the only good sneaker I had.
Man, that was like the shoe at that time.
Spent $1,000 on that shoe, bro. So I was gonna get my wear out of those sneakers.
So you saved up 2 months worth of Rejuvenator
Probably
checks.
more, bro. I don't even know, but I spent $1,000 on those shoes, and I still have them because I'm never.
Oh, you still have them?
I'm never gonna get my monies back. You know.
No, you're
You
not.
know,
That's
those
okay.
things are worth like a fraction.
How did
not
it feel
even.
to be in New York doing something like that you love?
New York was epic, bro. And New York's still my favorite city to visit. I've only been like 3 or 4 times, but that first time going, bro, it was just like, holy shit, you know, like working on sneakers. That's got me to the point where I'm going to this whole nother city. The show, people showed me so much freaking love at that show, man. Those kids and stuff, just like, yo, I love your videos and stuff, you know. And
how did that feel?
It was surreal,
was
bro.
that some of your first times?
Yeah, it's one of my
getting
first
that?
times getting that type of love and stuff, man. It's for sure a little weird. On Instagram that same day or the following day, people were posting it on their IGs, the pictures I took with them, and I have them all screenshotted again because it was all crazy to me. I look awkward in every single one of them, bro. I'm like throwing up the finger in every single one, man, just because I didn't know what to do with myself.
Yeah. What's your new pose now?
I don't know. I probably still throw up the finger, you know, just a little cooler.
Just a little cooler.
A little more confident.
That's funny. Yeah, it was crazy. I was rewatching this video, and it was crazy hearing your prices for stuff because the market is so down right now.
Yeah,
you
dude.
were paying for like
$30,
40 bucks for
something.
like, but for shit that was like, nobody would take this stuff.
Yeah.
So the fact that you were even paying 40 bucks for
Yeah.
like a dogged out pair of 13s
Different
with the
era.
thing hanging off,
Different
you're like,
era.
yeah, I'll give you 40. He's like, come on, 50, bro. I'm like,
Fuckers.
bro,
Fuckers.
what?
You're lucky you're even on camera right now.
Exactly, bro.
Getting 40 bucks right now.
I
for
was
these shits.
I was so shocked that he was even negotiating. I was like, bro, 40 bucks for those?
Bro, if you want to see me get ripped off, go look at those videos.
Yeah.
Every single shoe I bought is not worth
Not
the price
worth
I
it
paid,
at
bro.
all, bro.
But it is what it is.
A lot of it was for content, I'm
yeah,
assuming?
we made our money back times more.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, different times too. You know, those videos, those random beater restorations back in the day used to get so many views. Nowadays,
Because nobody was doing
nobody
that.
Exactly. And we're at it when you've done that many videos in 10 years, it's not the same no more too. And, you
Yeah,
know,
I can see that.
You know, and then you're also again, we talk about this all the time here at Rejuvenator. You're now competing with a lot of different other types of content, you know. So for example, you got more streaming services, you got IG Reels, you got TikTok, you got more YouTube creators, which is all cool and stuff, but at the same time now you're just competing for that one view compared to back then in 2016. You had YouTube and, you know, Instagram or whatever.
Yeah,
you
but
know,
not like
and not that many YouTube
people weren't
creators and
sitting
stuff.
on their phone for an hour straight on
Yeah.
Instagram.
Yeah.
You know, that's crazy.
Different times.
I believe this is where you were talking about.
Yeah, bro.
So this is, I
Jeez.
believe, your first
More
video.
Swaggerless Vick.
Show him some love, bro. He was still on the cover.
Oh yeah, I mean he was working.
But
on
I
it.
think this was your first video where you did those fours.
This was my first video, Undefeated 4. It started off with the banger, but yeah,
I
man,
know,
this is
you
my
did
first
start
one.
off with a banger.
Had a freaking
And
set the
full
tone.
circle, they dropped.
They did exactly, and just my cleaning video dropped today. Actually, speaking about it,
No
that's kind of
way.
crazy. Even more for full circle.
Wow.
But yeah,
talk
bro, that's
about
kinda
that
crazy.
time. That was at the spot you were just explaining,
Yeah,
right?
that was right outside, right in the shipping area, you know, in the warehouse in the back. I remember that too. But yeah, just laying down the finisher, getting that video all wrapped up, bro. I did 8 videos back to back in like 7 days or something.
What?
And that was one of them because we were just trying to create a stockpile for 2016 to release, you know, back to back every single Monday.
Damn, you guys weren't playing.
We weren't playing, you know, and I'm glad Rejuvenator and Fran specifically had that drive,
That vision.
persistency and consistency. You know, every single Monday, no matter what, we had to drop a video, and we did that for 10 years, and luckily we got it to where we're at now. But that's all it is, bro. Consistency and persistency and whatever. else you
Yeah,
call
and
it.
something that just pops,
Yeah.
which is this one, your most watched video,
which is
bro.
crazy, bro. You know, it's just insane,
I think it's almost at 7 million.
bro. This is at my homie's house. This is in the time where we didn't have a set or anything.
No
so we
way.
were like jumping around, you know, using our marketing director's living room, using our videographer's
Wherever
living
you could
room,
do it.
You know, setting up wherever we can, lights. I was in his backyard, like, all right, what do you guys have in your fridge? I grabbed ketchup, mustard, whatever else, and I got it all over the shoes. It's crazy, bro. It's like that shoe was, we got it dirty 30 minutes before. We did that shoot in the living room, you know.
Wait, that was only 30 minutes? Bro, I thought that shoe was sitting for like a week.
I'm sure
the way
I
that
said
it looked.
that, you know. I'm sure I
That's
said
probably-
that.
you did probably say that too.
But, you know, we definitely did
A
that
little
right
magic.
beforehand, you know. Little TV magic.
Bro, I don't know how y'all did this, bro.
Yeah, but bro, it's like I've done like back-breaking projects that have taken me weeks to like get done, you know, done my research, you know, all this production and stuff, and they can't even break a fraction of
that,
you know, which is crazy. You know, you can just literally put up a video and it could probably, you would think it's gonna do bad, and then it turns out to be a 7 millioner.
I run into that a lot, bro. It's like I've had episodes where I'm like, this is the one, and then it's not. And then I've had on the opposite side, I didn't even know, and then everyone loves that one.
It's crazy how that works, right?
So like, how do you manage that working in this?
Pisses me off all the time. Yeah, especially because it's not just on me; it's a whole business funding it, and it works off of numbers and shit. You know, I have fun doing a custom and stuff, and X person who's receiving it, you know, has a great reaction. People tune in and watch the video, have great comments, but then nobody else is seeing the meetings behind the scenes where I'm post-mortem, YouTube monthly, where I'm looking at all the analytics, the numbers, you know, are what we investing coming back and more.
Yeah.
If I'm, you know, so like it's frustrating when I put in a lot of work to kind of come proper with the project, spend mornings and nights to, you know, get the project done as perfect as possible. And then at the end, you know, it doesn't pay off, you know. But that's the thing too, you know, like, you know, perspective. It doesn't pay off because it didn't hit 100K views in the first week. It's all of a sudden a dud. But videos live forever, you know. So back in 2019, I felt like that whole year when I was shooting those videos, every single video was garbage. I hated that era of videos in 2019 because I didn't have a set. I was bouncing around from living room to living room. You can tell. This is during the time before we were moving into this building right here. Steve just bought the gym. We were under construction for like a year or so, so we had bouncing around. So like I had no time to get innovative or learn new stuff. I was just trying to keep the ball rolling, never miss a Monday, you know. So that means doing this easy-ass restoration, cool. But I hated every single video we put out. Looking back on it, 2019 was one of our best years of content, you know. So I'm just like, looking back on it, it still pisses me off. I'm just like, fuck, man.
So what advice would you give that Vic?
Shit, dude, that's a good question. I would tell him to just relax a little bit too, you know, just enjoy a little bit more, because that was a good era. That was, times were way different. It's also pre-COVID. This is also before Rejuvenator got a bit more corporate, you know, got bigger, moved into this big ass building and stuff. I was shooting at living rooms with my friends and stuff, you know, so like it wasn't a bad time or anything, you know. I just didn't enjoy it as much because I didn't feel like I was doing a project that I like doing, but outside of that, it was a lot of fun, you know, but I was just too focused on the numbers or me not doing something new or whatever.
Wow. And honestly, I'm asking that question because we're in that spot right now where like there's video, we drop every Tuesday. We have not missed a Tuesday this whole year. And like, sometimes I look back on a lot of things and I'm like, we just did that to stay consistent. And I'm sure I'm going to be looking back and I feel so rushed and I feel like.
And there's a balance to that too, bro, you know, because like back then, you know, it was all about staying consistent, posting. You know, people were tuning in. Now it doesn't work that way no more. You know, like we can't just post just to post. Right now we're having conversations and meetings about it all the time, you know.
Planning.
You know, like I used to take a lot of pride in like saying, we never missed a Monday. Now we're to the point where like we need to miss Monday so we can create better content, you know. So, but we're still in the mix of, okay, well, if we're not posting, nobody's watching. If nobody's watching, numbers are not adding up.
And people will forget about you so quick.
And that's the thing too, bro. You got to stay consistent while like also taking a pause to make sure your content's up there. If not, you lose whatever momentum you create. You know, I'm kind of experiencing that right now. Which is, it sucks, you know, but, and what sucks too, it's not just you and a camera, you have a team behind you, you know. The YouTube income covers my salary, Arthur, which is our videographer and editor. Exactly. It's a business at the end of the day. It was doing great earlier on, you know, when YouTube was barely kicking off and stuff, you know, before we hit 1 million subscribers, you know, but it's one of those things, you know, when you've done it for so long.
I feel like another like key factor of when you know like, okay, we've made something and we're hitting numbers is when you start getting the hate.
The hate, or
because when you're low, like just the homies, everyone's loving you. They're like, bro, you're so good.
That too.
But once you hit a certain level, the hate comes, like bad comments, everything.
On the outside, and then on the inside too, you could be also getting comfortable and not doing something to prepare for the next 3-4 years. So I feel like that's something Rejuvenator kind of did. 2021, 2020, you know, money was coming in, you know, checks were coming in for everybody. People were spending money and stuff. You know, we could have been doing more to making sure we'd be good right now. You know, that didn't really work out, but you know.
Man, it's so funny. Talk to me about how you deal with like these haters. I seen a comment, I forgot which shoe it was, but someone was like, "These are buns," and you just put a middle finger emoji.
Yeah, I want to do that all day long, bro. And I've done that on YouTube, or like I've commented back and I've like sit on it for like 30 minutes. I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta delete that right now before Rejuvenator says something, you know. So
bro, that shit was so funny, bro, because you didn't give him, because you know a lot of these comments, what they really want you is to reply.
Yeah,
they're hoping that you respond,
and for the most I don't respond.
Yeah, and you don't. But that one just, you didn't even give him any words, just a middle finger.
And I should get back to that, bro. I'm glad you like that.
That was so funny, bro.
Simple and keep it moving. I think it was on the KD's. I think it was a KD dunk I did for him.
Bro, isn't that crazy? You'll forget a lot of the love you get, but you remember
those freaking hate comments and shit, you know? Yeah, it's funny how that works.
It's
I remember quite a few. There was somebody who was like, man, I hate how this guy talks. He sounds like AI. You know, like, I sound like Allen Iverson.
Oh, my God, that's a good response.
You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, I was like, I sound like Allen Iverson, you bitch. What are you talking about?
how do you, like, does any of that ever affect you? Did it start to affect you maybe when you were younger?
Earlier on, maybe when my first couple years of doing YouTube, again, I sucked ass on YouTube, bro. Like, if you watch my older videos, I didn't have too much charisma. I had a hard time looking at the camera while talking. I stutter in real life. I sometimes speak too fast or my accent slips up. So I would see all those comments early on, like whatever the case may be. This guy talks way too fucking fast, or, you know, whatever, you know, whatever. So like early on, yeah, it would probably bother me. I wouldn't read the comments, or I would hate when the editor be next to me editing my videos, you know, hearing your own voice. I'm like, fuck, you know, I would put my headphones in or like go somewhere else because I just wasn't comfortable with it. But at a certain point, bro, when you've done it for so long, you know, I don't know, at one point you just kind of forget about it. You know, I can see all the hateful comments about whatever the case may be, and it just doesn't really affect me anymore because I can't take the love comments too personal either, because they're just, you know, comments. You know, I don't want it to get to my head. Same thing with the hateful comments. I can't let them get to my head. You know, at the end of the day, I'm grateful you guys watched it. You know, whether I love that quote from that bowler, the guy that bowls. He's like,
what is it?
He's like, hate me or love me, you watched.
Facts.
You know, so that one always comes to mind. But
you should make a shirt of that and just wear it on the next video.
Yeah, high key, man. At the end of the day,
but
man.
that's so true.
Yeah,
especially on YouTube.
And bro, at the end of the day, like I said, I'm seeing all these numbers with Steve and whoever else, the team. I need your guys' engagement. Go freaking talk shit on my last video. More comments, the better, you know. So the way I see it, the more I see it as engagement. So
for sure,
you know, you can't see it as bad or good. And at the end of the day, bro, I'm not doing nothing scummy or weird or shitty, you know. So the hateful comments are just more so just.
Is there anything that you? Because this community, the sneaker community, I'm not even in it anymore, but I've seen it completely change, bro. From when we were doing like 2010s to now, it's completely different. Like, is there anything that stands out to you that maybe you don't like in it, or that maybe even you do like?
The sneaker community in general?
Yeah, in the sneaker community. You
like
know?
People or just in general?
In general, anything that comes to mind.
It's just a little oversaturated now. You know, back then, you know, like a collab would mean something. You know, a shoe would mean something. Now it does mean something, but next week we're on to the next. You know, we already kind of forgot about the last shoe that just came out. Even though we were so hyped for that shoe, you know, we couldn't wait to have it. You struck out on it. I'm like, fuck, whatever, it's all good. Then, you know, on Instagram, this next shoe is in your face, you know, ready to come out in 2 weeks or something. So like, it's an endless cycle, you know, and like, and in a way, I feed into the machine as well. You know, I'm making a custom, spend all this time on it, release it, gets a lot of love, but now I'm already on to the next one, and then the next one, and the one after that. You know, even though that project has a lot of stories, 60 plus hours worth of work in it. But once it's out, that's it, you know, and then you're only successful in that moment. You got to fucking keep it moving, you know, move on to the next one and the one after. So I guess in a way, it's just the machine's always running, you know. It's just, there's just always something.
Speaking of that, your hat. You did a collab with Hat Club. How did you make that collab special?
That one was important to me, man. You know, like, I knew my first design had to be special, you know, because hats go way back for me, you know, 2010 era, 2009, always had a hat with whatever shoes I, wore.
Yeah, I was gonna say some people might think Vick is bald just because you
yeah.
always have a hat on.
Full
bro.
set of hair, bro. I'm blessed.
Blessed for real, but you wear a hat like you're bald, bro.
I went into archive today. He's like, without a hat. He's like, oh shit.
He didn't know who you were.
It's like it's the first time I see you without a hat.
But yeah, talk to me how because like you said, there's in the hat community too.
It's always hats coming out left and right.
So oversaturated. How did you work with that to make it special? Because if people don't know, that's sold out within how long?
I don't know, bro. A couple minutes.
So obviously that story of it and the collab connected. How did you do that?
That one had to be. I had to stay true to myself. Ultimately, I couldn't look at anything else, see what this last person did, or see what's cool or whatever. I just had to dig into myself and see what I correlate with, what I can connect with. And one thing that I've always connected with was my baby pictures or older pictures of me when I was a kid. I have a whole photo album. So I kind of started there. I just kind of started going through pictures because I've always had like snapbacks of Suns. So my dad always had,
Your dad was fresh. I've seen some pics.
Yeah, dude. I'll show you some more. Yeah, I always had some Suns hats, Arizona tees or something. Yeah. And I always remember that. So I was like, let me go back, see if there's any cool colorways or something that kind of stands out. And I saw that picture. I'm like, okay, there's something there. That's a clean hat. I've always liked that hat. And not only that, there had to be more to it, So luckily they had that upside down A, this right here. So it's just Vick Almighty. So Vick right there.
Vick
Almighty, Vick Almighty. So Vick Almighty.
Yeah.
Then you got the Arizona born on the side, AZ native. I take a lot of pride in that. The logo right here, it kind of covers everything as far as Arizona. You got the Suns colors, you got the blue and the red and the gold for the Arizona flag. 25 is for 2025 in my head, this year. The green is freaking clean, the purple on the bottom. For those of you that care, this is a Bangladesh factory, so I kind of care about those details. It has a different shape to it.
Okay.
So it's just, my preference, but the overall hat's clean. But I'm just glad that the promo I did around it, trying to tell my story, people were able to connect with, because that's ultimately what's going to sell the hat. Half of it is a clean colorway, but the other half is a good story, staying true to myself, and I feel like what I touched on, the Phoenix Suns, Sunborn, playing into me being born in Arizona, the Diamondbacks, me taking pictures in my hood, just riding my bike in my area and stuff. All stuff that I covered in my promos, all stuff that goes back to my whole childhood and life here in Arizona.
And you did it so perfect because I feel like this year, and I talked about this before in 2025, I felt like this was going to be the year that people got separated, not by your business, but like by you.
Yeah.
Like whatever you're selling, who cares? Yeah. But if they connect with you, they'll buy it.
People buy into at this point. And we've seen all the marketing, we've seen all this shit, all the different tactics over the years. At this point,
but there's only one Vick.
Yeah.
So if you can sell Vick, you got it.
And I feel like once again, the time just kind of lined up properly for me. Like I've always wanted to design a hat, but I wasn't ready 4 years ago. Even last year, I wasn't ready. But I was ready this year. I wasn't ready to do a custom for Booker or link up with him 4 years ago, even though I'd done 2 or 3 customs for him 3 years ago, but it wasn't the right moment for it to be on social media. The right moment was for him to get his own shoe, for me to up my skills and do soul swaps and stuff. Finally happened, so it's all the timing thing, and I'm big on the universe, kind of just letting it do its own thing. Obviously, you got to do your own part, get ready, prepare for whatever the next opportunity is, but you got to go with the flow because you can't plan for any of this shit,
Speaking of next opportunity, what's next with, you got something else, or is that the only one, or like?
2 things. This one was a banger, luckily. Everybody responded perfectly that it dropped last Friday. By Tuesday, Hat Club hit me up asking if we could do a restock. And I'm like, fuck yeah, we could do a restock. Of course. That's pretty unheard of for a hat to restock that quickly, especially in the ambassador program. So I was like, that's freaking cool. So it'll probably restock in December or January. They got to put the order in and, get all the hats in. It's just a little process. But I was hyped for them to, accept the hat, love the story, see that it did good, and just hit all the check boxes for them to, offer a restock.
To run it back.
So that's freaking cool. I'm hyped for that. I told them I need more hats this time though.
I was gonna say, how many did you get? Were you giving them away to everybody? Or
no, that's what I wanted to do. I stood up and I'll put you on the list next time around, bro. No, that's the thing. For me, part of the promo that I really wanted to do was getting the hat in everybody's hands that matter here in Arizona. Like a lot of people, and a bunch of people that I wish I could too as well. But like, you know, I did that with Zach Allen, the Diamondbacks player. That was the only one I was able to do that for.
One.
You
that
know,
was sick.
like if there's a person to get a hat to, it's an actual Diamondbacks player that wears the hat. These are the hats. The hats are made for the players. So there's anybody I should get one hat to, it's this guy right here. But I told Hat Club, like, all right, if we do a restock, the only thing I want is more hats so I can do my promo and give it to all the people's hands here in Arizona.
So you can see it in the city, like.
Exactly. So I want to sprinkle it everywhere. So I was able to get, this first time, I only got 4 hats for free.
Really?
Yeah, 4 hats, and then I paid,
Wow.
I bought 12 more with my personal discount. I was capped at 12. And then some of them I just, you know, handed out invoices. The other couple I just, you know, gave to like Zach Allen or whoever else. 4 of them are free, but I had to give one for myself, one for my brother, one for my girl.
Your dad.
And one for my dad. You know, they all cooked pretty quickly. So I was like, if we make a restock, I need some more so I could get them into people's hands that do matter and stuff that would appreciate this. There's a lot of people here locally that have had my back, you know, that represent Phoenix just as much as I do. And there's just more storytelling to do, you know. So
yeah, it's so cool to see. Like right now, I'm wearing a Greater Good shirt. I love wearing stuff, but I love going somewhere and you see, like, you know, oh, the homie did that. The homie did that's so dope. So I'm gonna be somewhere, and I'm gonna start seeing those everywhere.
What size are you from?
718.
718. Cool. I'm collecting sizes right now, so I'm just trying to get everybody like.
Yeah, if I could get one, bro, I'll be rocking up.
Bro,
that should be so fire. I love that colorway. Like, it's just so clean. Because this is not white, right? It's like a cream.
Yeah, exactly. I needed it to be wearable, you know, too. You know, I didn't want to make it all funky looking. Yeah, people are just supporting just to support. I wanted them to support because it's a clean hat. You know, fuck Vick Almighty. I want to buy that hat because it's a clean hat.
Bro, I'm glad you said that because I be feeling like that too whenever I drop something or do something. Or even when I'm selling my vintage clothing, I'm like, bro, don't buy it just to support me. Yeah. If you're going to wear it, buy it, please. Yeah. But if not, just pass, bro. 100%. It's all good.
Yeah. Life's expensive. Go put that $40 somewhere else. But if you like it, please buy it.
Yeah, exactly. You know yeah, that's, man, congratulations.
Appreciate it, bro.
That shit is so dope.
Appreciate it, bro. I do have another hat coming out, though, next month. And I haven't really said anything about it or even shown it. I haven't even done my promo campaign pics around it. But it's a good one, though. You seen Scarface?
Of course.
Okay, sick. You'd be surprised, right? I'd be asking people, like, you seen Scarface? Like, once. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? That's a movie you watched like 100 times.
Bro, 1,000
times. But basically, I picked the Atlanta team with the A. Mm-hmm. A Almighty. I did the V this time around. This next hat is going to have the A.
Okay.
But it's heavily Scarface inspired. So the A is in the red, outline in gold, just like the poster. This crown is black. This part is white. So you got the black and white with the red, just like the poster. This dark red on the bottom. My favorite part about it, though, is a side patch. So I made sure it was a World Series 1996 patch. Because it's very similar to the World Is Your statue. If you remember the World Is Your statue in the movie, it's gold with some like silver on there, and it says the world is yours with like red in the background, some pink neon lights on there.
Yes.
So basically I designed that World Series patch just like the statue. The World Is Your statue, you know, pink, you know, gold, silver. And it says World Series on there, playing into the World Is Yours.
Yeah.
So it's a heavily Scarface-inspired hat. I haven't seen it in person or anything. I've just seen it on a computer screen on the mock-up. So I have no idea what it looks like or if it's going to look like how I think it's going to look like. But we'll see, you know. I have some ideas in mind for promo, you know.
Wait, why Scarface, though?
I don't know. I just I just thought it was sick.
That is sick.
I think it was the World Is Yours World Series patch. I'm like, there's something there, and I looked around to make sure nobody else has done it. You know, because I was like, this sounds like a too easy.
Someone's already done this.
Somebody's had to do this already.
Yeah.
I was like, no, didn't find anything. The patch is perfect. You know, the A plays into Almighty.
Yeah.
My last name Aguilar, so let's just do that for my second hat. The third hat I'm also cooking up already. The first hat I just needed to hit home. The rest are just gonna be like random, whatever I think
like
is cool.
Just some stuff that you like.
Exactly. I love Kiss, the rock band. So
do you?
Yeah, Kiss
I
is
didn't
cool.
know that.
I mean, I like a lot of rock, old school rock. So
Sick.
Detroit Rock City is a good song. So the third hat will be a Detroit hat with the script and just playing
Sick.
into all that whole album and stuff.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of
That's
things you can
dope.
do
You
and
got
mess
some
around.
stuff cooking up. Yeah, bro, I love Scarface. I don't know if it was Manny or somebody told me they didn't really like Scarface.
How do you
And
not
I
like
was
Scarface,
like,
bro?
are you crazy? I was like, rewatch it, bro.
Right.
Someone was telling me that they think it happens too fast. Like he's like, nothing, and then all of a sudden. But it's like it's a movie, bro.
Goddamn movie.
Yeah, like
it's not a 3-part movie.
Yeah, you can't,
didn't
like-
have time to see him fucking.
yeah, this is not a series. They should probably make a series. But
Yeah.
yeah, bro, we only got an hour and a half, bro.
All right, you tell me this. All right, so there's 3 scenes that I'm thinking about taking inspiration from for my promo on the hat. There's 3 scenes that I love. You got the intro, the deep, cool, heavy music, the
Yep.
montage with Fidel Castro, whatever in there. It's more so the
With the
music I
boat and
like, with the
stuff,
boat and
right?
stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think I can recreate any of that shit. Fucking dressed up like Fidel Castro
On
and
Lake
shit.
Havasu.
I know. So more so the music. I like the music there. The second option is the blimp. The world is yours.
Yep.
Going
The
across the
usual
window.
dun, dun,
Exactly.
yeah.
And that one might be doable to an extent. I don't want it to look corny either.
That would be the hard part because everyone's used that before.
Exactly. So I'll have to think about that one. Or the third one is push it to the limit, where the money's just going through the
It's like the B-roll montage
exactly,
of them getting
with
money.
the phones and shit, laughing,
That's the
being
one.
rich and shit.
That's the one.
That's the one.
That's the
All
one.
right, all right, you said it.
That would be sick.
So I'm thinking about
just
doing
because
that one.
it's not corny, but it's not made to be cool.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they're just fucking getting money.
Yeah,
Like,
and the song is badass.
Yeah,
So,
that'd be tight.
Just be on the phone laughing and shit, and have another homie on the phone, money
Yes,
counting.
bro.
And
You
shit.
and your brother, bro.
Yeah, my brother. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah,
bro. That
low
would be
key.
sick.
All right, I
might
think
be the
I
move.
might have a direction. Fuck the blimp.
That would be sick. Yeah, because that one, everyone's done it on shirts, on video. Like,
Yeah.
that's kind of hard to redo that one.
The video, the only idea I had was because I was watching it carefully, the cuts and stuff. Like, all right, I could cut Tony out of this fucking scene and plug myself in black and white, and make this and that match. So I was like, that sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah. I mean, talk to me about a lot of work. I know you were on MTV Sneaker Wars.
Yeah, bro, 2021.
And you had talked about how much work that was before, and I don't really know what goes into a TV show.
You want me to tell you the story that the world knows or the TV magic side of stuff?
The TV magic side.
Yeah, the TV magic side of stuff. So either way, cool opportunity. I got the call or the email.
Yeah, for people that don't know, it was MTV Sneaker Wars, and it was basically a show that they had on MTV where you guys would compete against each other.
Bro, and it has potential still, that whole
For sure.
concept, somebody should pick up that idea and do something with it.
100%. A YouTube show.
Something, because they had it all set up nicely. The set, the judges, Sean Weatherspoon, what's his name, dude from Wall and Out.
Yeah, I was trying to think of Conceited.
Yeah, and what's her name? What's her name? I forgot her name, but again, good line of judges. Being hosted by MTV, bro. It was the set was super legit. I've never been on a set like that where they had a camera crane swinging left and right. A whole side of screens where all the producers were just seeing all that stuff go down and directing, have them say this again or do that or whatever. But I got the email though, taking it back. I got the email saying yo, we are doing this show. We would love to have you be a part of it. Blah, 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 blah. I didn't respond right away because I was like, fuck, that's such high pressure, to be on a show.
You're like, what if I lose?
What if I fucking lose? That's the first thing that come to mind.
That's what I was
what if I lose on fucking TV? I don't want to go do that. So they're like, so that I saw the email. They hit me with all the information off the rip. And it was cool though, because they set me up with it being the first episode, which again, a little bit more pressure. I'm setting it off with Nick the Hayman, another dope ass customizer.
Does he still do stuff?
He still does. So he has his own studio, make shoes from scratch. That dude's a freaking talented artist. And he was a talented artist when I competed against him too. So off the rip, I was like, fuck, I'm going up against Nick the Hayman.
Oh, you knew him before?
Yeah, I followed him on Instagram already. I'm like, fuck. So I keep on saying fuck, but that's how I felt, bro. So again, it took me a day or so to respond to the email. Again, I knew I was gonna say yes. I'm not gonna freaking say no to an opportunity like
For
that.
sure.
But I had to just kind of run it back through my head,
sleep on it
a little bit. But they set me up. They set me up nicely. I'm gonna be a part of the first episode.
Okay.
You're gonna be it's gonna be a Jordan 1 base. the other rounds didn't have such a lucky base to work with. You know, the other guys had like a croc. Freaking just vans and just not good canvases to execute something dope. So my theme was MTV, like an MTV concept. I'm like, okay, that's sick. You know, some other people had like Mardi Gras, you know, make it very festive and shit, decorated.
Put like, beads on it.
Beads on it and shit. Like, bro, I don't put beads. So I got already like a good, I wouldn't say an upper hand, but good, you know, situation. I'm like, all right, let's do it. The TV magic side of things is on set, it makes it seem like we're doing the custom from beginning to end. In reality, they're shipping out the shoes at the exact same time, 3 days before the event.
Gotcha.
Before the actual shooting. Because it was in LA. We all had a link up in LA. Mostly everybody was already from California. I was probably the only one that had to make the flight. But everybody got the shoes 3 or so days beforehand, because that's the thing. And that's the thing with cooking shows too. It's all TV magic as well. Nothing's really done on set. You're, you know, given X amount of time beforehand to execute whatever you need to do so. Because customs at the end of the day take days and shit. Bro. If you're trying to do something dope, even a small stencil, if you're trying to do it freaking sick, it's going to take at least a couple hours. Nobody has that time on set. You know, you have all these people running around and shit. You're not going to sit there and do a full custom. Especially Nick. Nick built a whole shoe from bottom. That's the thing too. Like, when you think about it, I'm like, okay, the judges gave us 30 minutes to do this custom. Nick built a whole shoe from bottom up. How? But you know, so like on set, we got there. The rule was, you know, finish the shoe 95%. You know, so you know you're still finishing some of it on camera. Gotcha. So when we got there, the shoe wasn't fully completed. I still had tape on there. One area that needed paint. When we got there, you know, they set up everything, you know, had the judges say their lines and shit, and then they would give us a white shoe, and then like, all right, time starts now, and then you actually start working on it, start breaking stuff down, just like you're pretending. Actually doing it for 30 minutes, pretending, you know. Wow. 30 minutes you know, 30 minutes are up, they bring in the custom that you worked on beforehand, you know, almost done, and then you got another 30 minutes to do whatever final touches that you didn't finish up at home.
Got you.
So Nick built a freaking shoe, fucking made out of croc and stuff. You know, banana peel as a swoosh, super fucking thought out with beautiful materials. I'm still working on the freaking Jordan 1 mid that they gave me, this white base. But at the end, when I got the shoe, again, it's all about wow factors, bro. You know, when it comes to certain stuff, some stuff you want to keep it simple and clean for like a person like Devin Booker, you know, that works with Nike, that's going to work something subtle and clean. For a show that's being judged by judges, that's, you know, that by a bunch of people that are watching that just don't know sneakers. They want to see something cool. So on that shoe, I did a good colorway. The shoe's actually back there if you want to grab it.
No way.
Yeah, I recreated it again. It's right there on the floater.
Oh, that's it right there?
Yeah, if you want to grab it, bro. Yeah.
So it's you said a Jordan 1.
So Jordan 1 mid, that was the base that they gave us to work with. All white sneaker. The theme was MTV. Anything MTV. The thing is, you could only use the one logo they provided. You couldn't use any of the older logos. You couldn't remove the swooshes. You couldn't do too much. So I went with the OG 80s MTV vibe. You know, the zebra print, the colors, super OG like, you know. And I feel like I nailed it with the colors themselves. But I knew in my head, color blocking is not going to be enough. So 2 things I did was I added a speaker on the bottom, that connected to my phone. So the judge,
Bluetooth?
Yeah, Bluetooth.
Sick.
So the judges were like looking at the shoe, loving it and stuff. And I was like, I got one more thing for you, you know. And I had my song ready on my phone.
What was it?
I don't even remember. Here's the thing: I think I had a good song, but due to TV rights and stuff, they replaced it with this whack ass song. Yeah, they played some whack ass beat, I think. But they were all like, oh, just wowed by the whole freaking speaker. And then right here, I added a bunch of LED lights. So these top 2, so the original idea is like a music sound bar, you know.
Oh, okay,
Like the levels.
The pulse.
Yeah, exactly. So the bottom ones are green. These are like yellow, these are orange or something, and these are blinking red. So with the music and the lights, it just looked like it was like the song, the shoe was like playing music, like a little jukebox. Nick's shoe was amazing, beautifully crafted, awesome to wear and stuff, but it missed the wow factor. You know, I took the show with those 2 pieces, and I won it, you know, and I was able to hold this big old wooden trophy that they didn't let me keep. It was just a photo
Aw,
prop. I wish I was able to keep that thing, but I get it.
What are they gonna do with it?
I don't fucking know, bro. It's sitting in some closet.
That's what I'm saying.
It's sitting in
like,
someone's closet.
Bro, you would have had it right
here, bro. But there was still more episodes to go after that.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
bro,
true,
so
true.
everybody needed to hold the trophy, I guess, or some shit.
Wow.
Yeah, but this shoe is not wearable at all. Fucking fat ass speaker on the inside, fucking 20 wires on the inside. Your foot will probably melt if you try to put it in there.
But this is like a great, example of like understanding the assignment, because you didn't go cobbler with it. You didn't go like highbrow sneaker.
And I didn't have those skills back then either. I was good at doing a good paint job. I could stay in the lines. I could make that shit look factory. Wow. But in this zebra print was a cut and sew.
So yeah, like if you were the judge, you would have lost to his shoe.
If I was a judge, if I was it depends. As a customizer, I would have sided with the next shoe.
That's what I'm saying.
It's wearable, it's beautiful, it's handcrafted.
Exactly.
All that stuff. For somebody that's more so like an average Joe that doesn't understand customs and sneakers, they're not looking at the details that a customizer and restorer is looking at.
Wow.
So again, for some projects, it's all about wow factors like that. That's why for the NBA Youngboy custom, I put LEDs in the air units because I know he hasn't seen something like that. He has every Jordan, but he hasn't seen some shit with lights or his logo on the sneakers. So
man, that's dope,
it's
bro.
like you said, it's understanding the assignment. You can't just slap on paint on any shoe or so whatever. You gotta think about it and make sure it makes sense.
That's crazy.
Otherwise, they could lose you a competition.
That's a dub right there for AZ.
Yeah, big one, bro. I was out again. Little things like that, bro, helped me like get to where I'm at today. Little moments like that, and that was a big one. Shout out to my girl though. She's the one that actually told me to go with the iridescent purple on there. Originally, it was like a greenish teal tone. And I was not sold on it, and I showed it to her, and she's like, "Yeah, I don't think that's a move either. You should try this color." And I did it, and I'm like,
bro, that's another thing people don't talk about is having that partner in your life is a cheat code.
100%, bro. Yeah,
cheat code,
again, bro. I can easily sit here and be like, yeah, this is all me. I come up with all this stuff. Nah, I run it by my girl or run it by my brother, or whoever, the people here at Rejuvenator. You're a fool if you're not, tapping in with your girl or your mans or your friends or the people that work around you, whatever you're working on, because if I would have left that green, I don't think I would have won. That shit was ugly.
What's the hardest project you ever worked on? Like whether it was stuff getting canceled or like stuff not working your way or.
Oh shit, man! That all just happened. This past week.
What?
So like, I just posted the M&M Blazer 4 restoration.
Yes, I saw those.
1-of-1 samples. Everything was needed on that shoe.
Yeah. Do you have them, or did you already give them back?
As soon as they were done, I
had to
took
give
them back. To UPS
I figured
and overnighted them.
That's
I don't want that shoe in my hand, And I had it. The guy was cool. I had it since February.
Oh wow!
So I had him for months, sitting here. He was super patient with it. I told him it's gonna take some time to get it done, but it was like a good 60-hour project. Wow. And with a shoe like that, bro, you can't skimp out on any details.
It's irreplaceable.
It's irreplaceable. When I'm laying down glue, if my hand slips and just slips on the upper on that laser print suede,
it's over.
It's over. That's that. I have a big ass spot on there that's not gonna come off. Man. The owner's gonna see it and he's gonna be pissed that he just bought the shoe for thousands of dollars. He's paying me hella money and spending and being patient with it only to receive a ruined shoe back. It's not an option. So, like, I don't think about it a lot, because at the end of the day, it's another Jordan 4. I've restored 1 million Jordan 4s.
Yeah.
You got to look at it that way. It's just another shoe. You can't just, like, be all sweaty and be like, like, it's 1-of-1. It's a 1-of-1. Nah, you just can't think about it. It's just another Jordan 4. But the thing is, with that one, it just took so freaking long, bro. Stitch by stitch, making sure everything lines up perfectly. You only have one shot at it. That was probably one of my harder restorations that I've done in a while. The NBA Youngboy custom though, man.
That one was hard?
It wasn't that it was a hard one, but yeah, those LED lights, they're just you gotta finesse it a little bit. So the LED lights go inside the air unit, so you pop them in there, but you also have to hook that up to a power source, a battery, and a switch.
So you got to become an electrician
in a way, and squeeze it into a shoe that you want to be wearable.
That's not heavy.
That's not gonna break on you. That's not gonna poke you in your foot. So you basically got to drill into the shoe. So where the air unit is, it's funny too. People say like, bro, you popped the air unit. It's not wearable no more. Bro, that air does nothing. You know, it does zero. It's a gimmick. You know, maybe on like a Air Max 270 with a fat ass air unit, you'll feel it. But on a Jordan 3 or 4, like Jordan 1 or whatever, like that's just a big old Nike gimmick, like the air thing. It does. You're not gonna feel it, bro.
That's
so
crazy.
I popped 3 holes in that thing, you know, stick the LED lights in there, and then at that point you still have the rest of the sole. So I drilled trenches. So picture trenches, little thin ones, all on the inside where I can hide all the wires. And then I still have to find a spot on that sole that I can dig a fat ass fucking hole to stick the battery in with the switch. And okay, with the switch, you don't even want it inside. You want it like somewhere like on the side or in the tongue, so you can still turn it on and off.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like, how the fuck are you gonna turn them on and off? So with that shoe, originally I was like, oh hell yeah, I'm making some new tongues for them. I'm gonna put all the wiring on the inside of the shoe, have the ball or the gun. Because I put NBA YoungBoy's logo on there. So I replaced the ball with the gun. I was like, I'm gonna make that the button so I can just turn it on and off. It's gonna be perfect. Then I'll sew it back in, and he's gonna fucking love them. I get it all sewn in and stuff, and I'm like, let's see. Try to turn it on. Nothing fucking works, right? Everything's glued in, sewn in and stuff. I'm like, bro. That was like Thursday or Friday night. It was already like 2 a.m. 2 a.m. I was working on that shit, and like
in here
by myself. And usually I work pretty late on certain projects when the deadline is like needs to be done and stuff. And it's peaceful and stuff. Throw on some Netflix. But bro, 2 a.m. you could probably hear some loud fucks from the canal next door and shit. You know, I was fucking
freaking
pissed.
out.
I was livid. So at that point, I was like, you take a moment. You're fucking pissed, and then you just gotta remember, like, all right, you gotta still do this shit.
Yeah, like, what's next?
Yeah, they're not gonna be happy about a half-complete shoe, you know? You still gotta get it done. So that's when you gotta regroup, take a fucking second, and do the shit all over again. So I realized that it was a bad idea to put the lighting system inside the tongue because it's so loose in there. You're gonna pull on one of the wires, and one of the wires is gonna break off the battery. It's so thin and delicate, you know? You're just not supposed to do shit like that, I guess. So I took it all out, and I was like, fuck, where am I going to fucking put this fucking thing at now? So that's where I was like, okay, I'm just going to have to put it inside the sole. So I had to dig a fat-ass hole back here, you know, where I can put the battery and the switch. I was like, he's just going to have to lift up the insole and click to turn them on. That's the only way around it. Got it to work. Took for fucking ever to create new trenches, rewire the whole thing, make it work. Compressor. Took a freaking minute, but I got it to work. I was like, oh, thank God. I think it was like 4 in the morning by then. And I was like, all right, cool. I still have a lot of work to go, but this is a good ending point. You know, I'm going to call it quits right here. I still have to work at 8 in the morning, you know. I still have to come back in and film my other project. I come back the next day in early morning, you know, before everybody gets here. So I only stopped like an hour and a half, 2 hours. The first thing I do is, like, let me take out these battery cells, because the battery cells are pretty small. So, like, let me take out these cheap China ones, because they're not even Duracell, they're Energizer. Let me put some good ones in so the battery doesn't die if he wears them midway or some shit. So I go to Walgreens, buy some actual good batteries. When I take it out, one of the wires rips. At like 8 in the morning, the day of, bro, Monday, past Monday. I gotta turn them in during lunch. I was like, no fucking way. No fucking way it's happening right now. Arthur's over there editing, bro. I'm just like, fuck! Type thing. Just kicking my freaking trash can. I was like, oh my God. 2 minutes later, I'm like, I'm sorry, Arthur. You know, apologizing, going back to my professional self and stuff. You know, got it out of my system. I'm sorry about that, Arthur, bro. You know, he's like, oh, don't. He's French too. Love that guy. You know, hits you with his French accent. Like, oh, don't worry about it, bro. Yeah,
he's all scared.
Yeah, all scared. Being all supportive in that moment.
Oh my God. The Alhambra crash out.
Bro, I was crashing. So I was like, all right, I still got to fucking fix this. I still got to turn them in. So at that point, again, I'm not trying to take up too much time with this story, but I had to take out the battery source. Everything's glued in already. So the wires are, I got the red and black wires. They're all glued in. I only have like this much wire sticking out. Just enough to put a new battery and switch on there, but I only have 2 little fucking wires hanging on the inside of a high top shoe, so I'm like trying to squeeze my hands in there. I go in this box of like lights and just all these types of parts that I have, looking for another freaking battery power thing and switch to replace it with. Bro, I have nothing. emptied the box like 4 times, just looking for something, because
my
it's all I
God.
need, just something to replace it with, and I have nothing. But I have this one. Again, I was saying I was using a battery cell. I had another power source, but it was for a 2 AAA battery one, bulky as shit,
Yeah,
big. Too big. But that's all I had. So I was like, fuck. I'm gonna have to make it work.
So that's what you ended up doing?
I ended up using that shit on one of the shoes, bro. So the only way to not, if NBA YoungBoy actually did put on the shoes, bro, here's what he's feeling, bro. He's wearing a heel on the inside. I lifted that shit so much from the inside. I added some like EVA foam, like 2 thick layers. So like basically his foot's like
elevated
as fuck. So I gave bro 2 inches. But it was the only way to get the battery to sit in there without it poking his foot.
Wow.
So I put like basically like a good inch or so of like this EVA foam, put this plastic piece over it that's able to lift up so you can stick your finger in there like pretty deep to turn it on. But
Oh my
again,
God.
it works.
Bro, you should start selling that to the short kings out there.
Bro, straight
the
up.
2
yeah,
inches.
Bro, it works too. And me and NBA YoungBoy are the same size, 8.5, 9. So I was constantly trying them on. You know, I was like, does this feel
How
weird?
does it feel? Yeah.
This is wearable. This could work. You know,
Bro,
so I was like,
that's so
does
crazy.
nothing feel weird? Nah. Does the light still turn on? Yes. I was
Yeah.
stomping on them, doing all this. I'm like, this works.
And then we see is
A finished, beautiful product.
footprint center.
Yeah.
And you know,
Yeah.
they don't know
beautiful
that Vic
pictures,
was
and I
fucking throwing shit and
Yeah.
kicking trash cans.
They're like, you look tired. I'm like, nah, I'm good.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
bro.
so that just happened this past Monday, bro. So I mean, shit
You
like
be
that.
going through it,
Shit like that
low-key.
happens all the time.
I'm glad
bro.
you're able to vent that. It sounds like you haven't been able to vent
Nah,
that yet.
so yeah, only my girls heard it. The guys here at work. That's about it, though. But I gotta
That's
get
so
that story
funny.
out. What I'm trying to say, though, these custom projects, bro, there's always something.
Something.
Always. My girl sees it firsthand.
I bet. Yeah.
Every single time, she's like, "You gotta stop doing that to yourself. Like,
On a-
why
on
did
a-
you have to put LED lights in
I
that shit?"
know,
I'm like,
huh?
"Cause he's never seen that before,
I
babe."
know. on like a positive note, what's the craziest thing that? Because we talked to your brother about how he's gotten some shoes.
Yeah.
Thinking he's Vic. What's the craziest thing you got as being Vic? Like whether it's
Shit.
an experience, a shoe, whatever it is.
That's a good question, bro. I don't know. I mean, I definitely get little perks from it.
That's what I'm saying. There's some perks that go
Yeah,
on.
nah, for sure people show love when they recognize me. I can't think of one where I've benefited so much from from being me, but I do remember my second date with my girl. You know, we were going
your second date?
My second date with my
Oh,
girl back in like
dope.
2019.
So you were just still trying to set it up.
Exactly. We go into the movies to go watch Spider-Verse, you know, and going in, the guy that takes a ticket, you know, sees me. He's like, "Bro, are you Vic?" "Bro, oh my God, bro, I watch all your videos all the time. Blah, blah, blah. Can I take a picture with you?" And my girl's just like, "Is this normal? You know,
Yeah.
does this happen?" And like, bro, he set me
That's
up
it.
nicely, yo.
Yes.
Like, you know, so I was like, hell yeah.
Did she know about?
She knew I was on YouTube and all that stuff, but
Okay,
she
she
never
didn't know how big it was.
Yeah, and it wasn't even that big back then.
But
That
it
was just
seemed like it.
Yeah, it made me seem like I was somebody. But that
that's
guy set
fire.
me up nicely. So there's been little stuff like that too, bro. Tons of
That's
those.
dope,
Yeah,
though.
every now
Shout
and
out
then,
to that guy.
Every now and then I go get some food. You know, they'll recognize me. They'll just hook me up.
Yeah.
You know, so there's little perks to it. I'm just trying to think of one that really stands out, but. Nah, I mean, my brother said that, you know, he's came up, you know, little fucker.
As Vic.
Yeah, as Vic and stuff. That's a good story. But there's sometimes, too, where, like, people will be... So here's the thing with me. A lot of the times I go out, go to In-N-Out or go to the mall, sometimes people talk to me like we've already met. And we probably already have met, but I just don't remember. You know, 10 years going to sneaker cons, go out and
Yeah.
about, just working on people's
You've
shoes.
met thousands of people at
A
this
lot
point.
of freaking people, you know, and there's a good chunk I remember, but a good chunk I don't remember.
Yeah.
And they'll be talking to me like we've linked up, we've
Yeah.
talked, or remember this, or you still at this place, and I'm just in my whole, like, just trying to keep the conversation flowing, because
Yep,
I don't
yep,
want to be
yep.
like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
You know? But
That's where you got to change that. People, when people are famous like that, they say you got to say, "It was good to see you," instead of like "nice to meet you,"
Yeah, yeah,
because you
good-
might have met them already.
that's my thing, bro. Like, I don't like to say nice to meet you,
Yeah.
because, like, sometimes I'm like, I feel like I've already I look like an asshole,
Yeah.
you know. But my brother's also very personable. He also knows a lot of people here in Arizona. He knows probably a lot more people than I do that he conversates
Like on a
with.
personal level, yeah.
A lot of those times, people think I'm him for some reason.
Oh, really?
Yes.
It's reverse?
Reverse. So they'll start talking to me and stuff. In my head, I'm like, do I know you, or do you think I'm married, or what's the deal here? So I'm like trying to make it make sense.
Yeah.
And then like there was this guy, I went to QT, bro, and then he was like, bro, how are you, man? Gives me a big ass hug, you know, like, how's everything been, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, good, man. You know, and just like try to like, I know you, bro. You know, and it gives me another hug and shit. I'm just like, bro, I'm not like
You don't know what to do.
I don't know what to do. So I was like, do you know my brother? And he's like, wait, he's like, aren't you Yuri? And I was like, no, that's my brother, bro. And he's like, oh shit. And then at that point, I was just like, we already hugged twice, you know.
We're locked in.
You're locked in, you know. How you doing, bro? We'll start having a conversation.
Damn,
but
so that fool's famous low key too.
he's just very like knows a lot of people and
For
shit.
sure.
You know, he just has a lot of friends and shit. And every now and then, I guess it confuse me with him. Like I don't know what it
That's
is.
tight.
And again, it makes it more confusing for me. I'm like, A, I might have met you before. B,
Yes.
you might think you know me so much and you just are cool with me, but this is the first time we're meeting, or you think I'm married.
Yeah, damn, that's tight.
Yeah, it makes it a little hard, but we're navigating through it.
I'm glad we were a little bit more conversational for the sneakerheads out there. I got to ask the question for them. Maybe they
Yeah.
want to hear from you. 2025, what do you think sneaker of the year?
Shit. Here's the thing. I want to like. I'm a big Jordan head. I love J's. You know, that's basically all I work on. I want to say Undefeated Forest and Brick by Bricks. But if it was such the sneaker of the year, why don't I have either pair of those? You know what I'm saying? So if I like them so much, why don't I have both of those pairs?
Very
you know,
true.
I would have made it happen by now.
Easily, yeah.
So it makes me question, like, what is the actual shoe so far that's quote unquote shoe of the year? I don't know. For me personally, man, I really like the Buck Blazers. The Chevy collab.
Bro, I love those.
They're so
I
freaking
talk so
comfortable.
much shit about the chapter
Yeah.
ones because I do not like them.
Yeah.
But those Blazers,
Yeah.
amazing.
Did you get a pair?
I didn't. I
Yeah.
didn't, bro. I have to pick. I'm not in the game like that, so I
Yeah.
have to pick and choose.
It's such a wearable shoe, you
Yes.
know, and besides that, it's really comfortable. You know, it kind of just fits like a glove,
Yeah.
and that's my biggest gripe nowadays with shoes. It's like they're not comfortable. They are comfortable, and I
We're-
want to wear something chill. I don't want to wear a fucking Hoka.
We're old,
you know?
bro. We need something that fits
Yeah,
nice.
but I
and-
still want to have that classic touch of you know
Yeah.
Blazer, Jordan 1 or some J's.
Yeah,
while
that's
being
why I grabbed
comfortable.
these when they re-released
Yeah,
the P-Rods
yeah, P-Rods is
these are
classic.
so comfy,
Yeah,
bro.
bro.
But I love them too.
Yeah.
You know, it has. Now that we're older, it has to be both.
That's a balance of things, bro. I don't know, bro. That's a good question as far as shoe of the year. I guess I've had more fun creating shoes this year than ever before.
Oh, so what was yours then?
Fusions have been my
Fusions.
favorite thing to create, you know, because again,
Was it the 8 and the 9 that you
8
just
and 9
did?
is one I just did.
Yeah.
I'm working on, you can see them right there. There's the 4 and 5. So I got the Fire Red 4 and the Fire Red
Oh,
5.
I got a Fire Red 5 from you, remember?
Yeah, yeah,
Back in the
back
day,
in-
the CDP pack?
That's where I got. Oh,
Yeah,
damn, bro. Shit.
I got it from you.
That was
because
my.
I think you gave it to Angel maybe, and
Yeah.
then I got it from Angel.
That was my. So back then in high school, it was such a big deal on your birthday to get a good pair
Oh,
of shoes
yeah.
and a good fit. That was my 2011 sneaker, my
No,
birthday. So
for
I
real?
remember to this day those
It was
Fire
a
Red
size
5s,
9.
Chicago snapback,
Ooh.
Obey leather jacket. You know, bro, I was wearing that thing and it was still hot as fuck. You know, it still hasn't hit cold
Swag.
November. But I had to wear that shit for my birthday. But that's crazy, bro. That you got out, bro. I've always wondered what happened to those shoes because I big on like birthday sneakers or Christmas
me
sneakers,
too.
and I've always wondered, like, because it's been so many years, like, where did those shoes end
Yeah,
up?
where
Like,
did
why
those
didn't
end
I
up?
keep those or
I
whatever?
think I don't know if it was a trade or just straight up cash.
Yeah.
But I think Angel got them from
Yeah,
you
yeah.
originally, and then he would at that time, you know, we would buy shoes whatever size.
Yeah, yeah.
He was a 10.5 and bought a 9 off of you,
Fucking
and I was a 9.5, so I could fit a 9
Yeah.
too. And I was like, bro, trade me these for this then, and he's like, all right. So I kept those for a long time, but then the soles started.
Falling apart.
Yeah, falling apart. So I ended up selling them at an event one time.
Yeah,
Someone grabbed them for $100 or
Yeah,
something.
cheap.
But yeah, I wore them a few times. They were so clean.
That's crazy, bro. Yeah, I got them from not StockX, Flight Club.
Flight Club. Yep.
Flight Club was one of the only websites to
Yeah.
get stuff from, and stuff was expensive, but I got them from Flight Club back then. That's just crazy that you were one of the.
I
you
had
ended
those.
up with them.
Yeah,
you know?
I had
That's
those, bro.
fucking nuts, bro.
What else do you have right here before
Bro,
we get out of here?
Nah, bro. I got plenty of stuff. You want me to? All right. I'm going to get away from the mic for
Show
a
me
sec.
something cool just before we let everybody go, because we'll be here all night, bro.
Easily, bro. So this is the Fire Red 4 and
Oh.
Fire Red 5 fusion. So
Wow.
at the moment I'm trying to swap everything. So with these fusions, my thing is I'm trying to create a fusion line that hasn't been done before.
Yeah.
With Jordan specifically, 1 through 14. So I'm combining the 1 and 2, 2 and 3. Sorry, 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 3 and 4, 4 and 5, 5 and 6, 6 and 7, up until 14. So at the end of this, I should be left with 13 fusion customs. I've only done about 5 of them. The thing is, these shoes are expensive. You know, these projects get kind of expensive quickly. That was
and time consuming
on top of all that. So this was $300 resale, 235 retail. So right there alone, you're $550 deep into a single project. Some of these other fusions that I've done like 6 by buying like 5 pairs of shoes and taking them apart for one for the tongues, one for the back tab, and one for the soles, and then just to make one single pair of shoes. But I'm on that mission to create that whole
these
fusion
are
line.
sick.
They have potential. So on these, I'll put the Jordan 5 tongue on there. The netting from the 5s is going to go on here.
Gotcha.
The netting from the 4s is going to go on the Jordan 5 upper with the Jordan 4 sole and the Jordan 4 tongue.
Wow.
So that's the
bro, I'm fucking with these, bro.
And this all stuff that Nike
it's like
hasn't done.
you're doing it because you remember they had the fusions,
They
but
had
nobody wanted those.
That's the thing. They've always done the worst type of
Yes.
fusions, you know?
So you're doing, because when I first seen that, I remember you posting that, I was like, fusion? That has such a bad rap to it, you know?
But it has so much potential.
So much potential.
And here's the thing with Nike though too, bro. Like I've been lucky enough to work with like people that used to work in Nike designers. They all say the same thing. Working at Nike's cool and all, but at the end of the day, they put you in a box. You can't do
because it's a business.
It's a business, and you know, for me, I can think of this shoe and this shoe, and like I want to combine them. Cool. Over there, they're like, we want to make this new design and create and blend these two shoes together.
Because they're like, in your sneaker community, you guys will like this, but the masses may not. So we don't want to bet on that.
Or they don't want to risk it. They're just so
they
used
don't want
to
bet.
And that's the thing with these corporate businesses. They're just so used to their old ways. They don't want to try new shit, even though that new shit has potential.
For sure.
These fusions, you know, they all have great responses. A lot of bad responses too, but people are engaging with it because it's new.
Man,
these are their sneakers. These are their silhouettes. Cool. These are their parts. These are their logos. They have everything in the world to be making this stuff. Why aren't they making it? With Booker, bro, I found my opportunity with him with the ACG sneakers.
I seen those. He wore them climbing mountain, right?
Times. Booker's dad just came by yesterday to pick up his pair. He signed a pair of shoes.
The same ones you made him.
The same exact pair. So when I gave the original pair to Buck, I met up with Melvin. Melvin's his dad's name first. So I was in the tunnel just chopping it up with him. Nice guy, really cool guy, and he was just talking. He's like, yo, I need a pair, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, say less. You know, what's your size? Size 12. And he's like, here, I told him, like, get my number. You know, if you ever need anything, you can reach out to me. You know, whatever. I'm not trying to get your number.
Yeah.
Weird. He's all like, he got my number, and then he texted me right away. I'm like, oh, that's freaking sick. You know, he didn't have to do that. So I was like, I know I have to do these customs for him. That was months ago. So I barely got him in his hands yesterday. He came by the studio, checked out the spot. He was amazed by all the work. I showed him some of the baseball cleats.
Yeah.
So, like I was saying, with Booker, I found an opportunity. Again, it goes back to with Booker's my favorite player. He's here
just
in Phoenix.
All the lines.
Has his own shoe. I love the shoe myself personally.
Wow, this is a Diamondbacks? Like
this is for a Kansas City Royal player. So Ryan Dunn plays for the Suns. His brother's name's Justin Dunn. He plays for the Royals. I got to get these in his hands. But I just knocked out 6 other ones for 6 Tigers players for Booker. So what was cool about that too is like, okay, I did the shoes for Booker. You know, I opened up that door with him. Afterwards, he hit me up for more projects. You know, so like he was like, oh shit, I can put my upper on a whole different sole.
You could do anything.
Let's start cooking. So, you know, in March, I gave him the ACG sneaker. You know, we got that captured on camera and stuff. It was a cool moment for me personally, giving my favorite player a custom that he actually liked. Fast forward to like June or July, he's hitting me up because he wants to do 3 pairs of cleats for 3 Tigers players.
Wow, bro.
So now I made him the shoes. And now he's going out to Detroit to give him my customs to his favorite players from the baseball team. So it was like a full circle moment. So I did the baseball cleats for him. He loved them. And then a few weeks ago, he hit me up needing 5 pairs of his shoes on a golf sole. because he was going to a D'Angelo Russell's tournament. So he needed 5 pairs. I don't know why you need 5 pairs for like a weekend tournament, but shit, say less. Again, these guys have such a small turnaround time, so I had like a week and a half to get them all done.
Man, that's crazy. It's like they unlock something. They're like, you can just put anything with anything?
And get to my point, Nike, these are all Nike shoes, Nike soles, Nike baseball
even
cleats,
Nike athletes.
Nike athletes and all that stuff. You're telling me it's going to take some kid in Arizona to make that shoe happen for him when Nike has all the power, all the resources, everything to do it? So I found a little opening with the Fusions, with getting some shoes for Booker. You know, if Nike's not doing it, I'll do it, you know.
Wow.
So,
man, it's so cool. I love talking to people that just, man, are so passionate and love what they do. Like, you found your thing, bro. Like, even if somehow, I mean, knock on wood, this wasn't even like a job anymore. I know that you would still do this. You know what I'm saying?
Find a way to do it, bro. There's a shoe in my hand at all times of the day. You know, if I'm watching a movie, there's a good chance I'm doing something with the shoe at the same time.
That's crazy.
Because I have a deadline or I just enjoy doing it. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, bro, I'm extremely blessed to wake up every day to work on a pair of shoes. You know, that was a dream as a kid, you know, wanting to be around shoes all the time. I'm getting to do that.
That's so cool. My last question, bro, so we can get you out of here.
Nah, bro, I'm cool. I could be here whenever. It's easy conversation.
I always like to ask, why do you do what you do? I mean, there's always a why. Obviously, you love it, but there's always a bigger why behind things. What do you think that why is for you, if you want to pull it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, dude, there's a lot of whys ultimately, but the biggest why I would say is my parents are a big inspiration, you know? So my parents came from Mexico with literally nothing, you know, not anything in their pockets, no house, no car, my mom didn't even have lotion for a long time, you know, so there was no extra funds for that stuff, you know, when they moved over here. It took a little while to get situated. You know, my dad, hardworking man, you know, came over here with nothing, made it happen. If he could do it, bro, you know, my parents could do it, you know, they came over here to give me a better life, you know, and my siblings. I owe it to them to, you know, do something with myself, you know, whatever that is. So that's why back then it was really important for me to go to school, because I didn't want to let them down, you know. How am I going to be this kid that's bumming it, not having anything to do, while my parents sacrificed and did everything for me to have these opportunities? So at the end of the day, that's a really big ass why. You know, I do it for my parents, I do it for my family, I do it for my girl, I do it for all the people around me. And luckily too, you know, being here in this business, you know, with the team and stuff, over the years, a lot of people have ate off of my videos in a good way. You know, it funds them, it provides for them and stuff. Being able to come in to shoot my videos or edit the videos and stuff, give them a stable job, you know, it's able to, you know, do more for the people around me as well. So there's a lot of whys, you know, a lot of whys. I'm probably missing a few as well, but yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where people sacrifice a lot. Even Steve, you know, Steve is a big part as well of why I'm here where I'm at right now. You know, Steve sacrificed a lot. He's been through a lot in his life, you know, from, you know, his parents weren't the greatest, you know, he went through stuff with his mom, you know, he's been shot at, you know, he's a felon, you know, if he didn't become a felon, he would have never started Rejuvenator. If he would have never started Rejuvenator, you know, he would have never had a YouTube channel. No YouTube channel, I'm not here and shit. Wow. So there's a lot of like things that had to happen to get me behind this desk. My parents coming from Mexico, Steve going through what he went through. Wow. So there's just like too many things that I think about when I'm working, or just like, this wouldn't have, if Michael Jordan didn't play great, if Tinker Hatfield didn't make us sneakers, you know, if Tinker Hatfield didn't make sneakers that fell apart, I wouldn't be restoring shit. If Phil Knight didn't pursue fucking Nike, bro, there's too many things that like had to happen for me to end up where I'm at right now. And the cool thing is too, you know, like I never expected to be where I'm at right now. You know, like I never thought I was gonna be in front of a camera. Never thought I would be 15 years deep into working on shoes. I never thought I'd have opportunities to work with the Suns, freaking Diamondbacks, freaking Booker, freaking Rafi's Law Group, and State 48, you know, all the brands here chopping it up with you because, you know, because of sneakers. You know, there's just too many things. So it's just one of those things.
Man, bro. It's amazing to see, bro. And I'm so happy and I'm so proud, bro, because you really put Arizona on your back, and you always promote it. Like, anytime I see you somewhere, you're making it known, man.
Like you said, bro, it's like, Arizona's still growing and stuff, but what you're doing, bro, what I'm doing, and all our homies and stuff, we have a lot of the same friends. You know, they're all trying to put on. We're all trying to make it happen for themselves, but they're also trying to put on for Arizona too. So, you know, we're a growing state, bro, but at some point, you know, we'll leave our mark. You know, they'll remember the name Angelo. They'll remember the podcast. They'll remember all that stuff. But
man, thank you so much, bro, for taking. I know you're busy all the time. Thank you for taking the time to sit with us because this is an important one for the city, man. Yeah. You are killing it.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate the love, man.
Yeah, of course. Make sure you. Oh, let's shout out your Instagram. And then the YouTube, everything where you're at, so they could know.
For sure, Instagram, Vick Almighty, VICK Almighty. Every single Monday, I'm on YouTube here at Rejuvenator. YouTube channel's Rejuvenator.
Yes, sir.
Here in Phoenix, Arizona, man. I just want to say thank you, bro. This is cool, man, bro. Like I said, we can chill here for 2 more hours. And
I know. That's why I'm like, let's cut it because we'll be here all night, bro.
But dude, I want to say I think you definitely had me in awe in several moments. The fact that you knew my story, remembered my story. You know, those conversations we had back in 2010, 2013, or whatever. Bro, we go way back. You know, it took me a second conversating before the podcast started to, like, remember, like, shit.
Like, we really do have some history.
We have some history, you know? Like, we've known each other and stuff, but it took me a second to remember Beastie, you know, all those other things, horseshoes, the hustle. That's just dope, bro. Man, thank you so much.
Keep killing it, bro. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. We are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. It's so hard to get a subscriber on YouTube. You know how it is, bro. Please subscribe.
Subscribe, man. These guys are killing it.
Man, we are trying.
It's the only way to grow this thing, right?
And yeah, we got to get out of here before we stay here all night, bro.
Like
Thank you again.
Man, you can stay here as long as you want, bro. This is easy shit.
Thank you, man. Shout out to Rejuvenator too. We out. Peace.